Okay, here we are on the morning of day 7, which is the 4th of
Day
April.
6.
No, day 7, darling. Yesterday was day 6. See, it's all running into you're really a retired guy now. Brian's standing here in the parking lot of the Holiday Inn in Malvern, Arkansas, and we're going to be heading up to Little Rock to go to the Clinton Presidential Library, right?
Yeah, the big storm came through last night.
Yeah, so last night's storm, we were very lucky. No tornadoes for us, although they gave us some directions or description about what to do should the alarm be sounded in the middle of the night, right?
Yes.
And we were prepared, weren't we, darling?
Yes, flashlight and everything.
Yep, we were all ready. So it's about how many minutes drive? About 40 minutes?
Half hour.
Yeah, to Little Rock. So off we go. Here I am outside the Bill Clinton Presidential Library and Museum in Little Rock, Arkansas. Brian's just coming down the walkway there. We just finished a 1-hour tour of the main permanent collection, and our little tour guide was a lovely gal, and she was very informative. It's a really interesting thing for me. What struck home is just the opportunity of a past president to shape his own personal take on how he wants to be remembered in history. They had it organized by policy themes and timelines and stuff, but was able to present the facts in the best favorable light, and a really interesting way of doing it. Particularly the section which dealt with the potential impeachment proceedings and things like that, and the way they cast it inside the exhibit was more about extreme partisan politics and that sort of thing. Really interesting. Anyway, so now Brian and I think it's starting to clear up here a bit, so maybe we'll take a quick run and take a look at the Capitol, state capitol here in Little Rock before we head over to Memphis. Bye now.
Brian and I were surprised to see that there was a demonstration on the grounds of the Capitol building when we arrived. It was to commemorate the 44th anniversary of the assassination of Martin Luther King. And so there were state officials and other public representatives all speaking at the outside of the building. We went in to take a look around, and were really struck by the documentation in some of the exhibits inside the building that talked about the act of discrimination to preclude blacks from participating in public life. Between 1893 and 1973, blacks were prohibited from voting or being elected to the House or the Senate. And this was really very surprising to us because we hadn't appreciated that this had lasted so long. And it was such a contrast to the beautiful interior facades of the building, and then to see what was going on outside in terms of the public recognition of such a positive figure such as Martin Luther King Jr. with this really very disturbing history. And I think that the two juxtapositions of these things made a very interesting tour for us then in the State Capitol building today. When we got to Memphis, we headed directly to Graceland because we wanted to see the residence of Elvis Presley. But it was funny, neither Brian and I are all that familiar with the background of this property and what was actually to expect. So it was a bit of a surprise for us. We were, of course, struck by the size of the building itself. It wasn't all that large. And of course, kind of like the Clinton thing, an opportunity to portray Elvis in the most positive light in terms of talking about his charity work and things like that. So there was all this ostentation, private jets, opulent gold toilet seats and things like that. But in the end of the day, it came back to family in the end. One of the surprising things for us is that we learned that he had a twin brother that died at birth. So it was kind of an interesting experience altogether.